last night. They were back at it again this morning, only to emerge around midday. We saw Speaker McCarthy, and he said they were taking a Chipotle break. They later returned with chips and queso for the press and went back into that closed-door session. The White House tells CBS News progress is being made, and Republican negotiators say they are getting closer on the big stuff. But there are still some sticking points on some of the smaller, more specific issues, including a GOP ask for work requirements to be attached to nutritional benefits and some other welfare programs, including what's commonly called food stamps.
So, Christina, does a deal appear imminent?
I think everyone is hoping that. I will say both sides seem much more optimistic in the last 24 hours, but they don't have a whole lot of time to get this done. And that's because Speaker McCarthy has promised the standard 72-hour waiting period for lawmakers to review the bill before it goes for a vote. And then it still has to go through the Senate. But the good news is the Treasury Department said this week they have 5 extra days until the U.S. reaches its borrowing deadline. So hopefully they can get it all worked out in time. Adriana?
Christina Ruffini, thank you.
Thank you.
Tonight, the Texas House of Representatives voted to impeach Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton by an overwhelming bipartisan vote. Paxton faced 20 articles of impeachment, including accusations of bribery. Paxton denies any wrongdoing, calling the charges, quote, political theater. He is immediately removed from office pending a trial in the Texas Senate. A top Russian official cautions that the increased supply of Western weapons to Ukraine risks escalating the war to a level not yet seen. This comes as Ukrainian officials are countering with a warning of their own. CBS's Deborah Pata is in Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv.
Good evening, Adriana. Ukraine has increased speculation that a counteroffensive is imminent, with a video released today brandishing its intention to destroy the enemy with an array of Western-supplied weapons.
Ukraine has upped the ante in the slickly produced video showing troops preparing for battle with those Western weapons, including American-made armored vehicles, artillery and rocket launchers. It was posted by their Commander-in-Chief General Valery Zaluzhny with the message, the time has come to take back what is ours. And ends with his men chanting defiantly. Moscow has stepped up its attacks ahead of the looming counteroffensive, hitting a medical facility in Dnipro yesterday. But so have anti-Kremlin Russian fighters, waging war not in Ukraine, but on Russian soil. The partisans are a collection of disparate groups united by their desire to topple Vladimir Putin. CBS News sent written questions to one of those units. We are destroying military targets and support infrastructure, this masked gunman said, like power stations and railway lines. The heavily disguised fighters also say this video shows them setting off an explosion and attacking an electrical substation. We cannot independently verify the group's claims. Earlier this week, a different group of anti-Putin fighters launched a daring cross-border raid inside Russia's Belgorod region. And video posted on social media today claims there was heavy shelling in that same locale.
As for the long-awaited counteroffensive, the head of Ukraine's Security and Defense Council, Oleksiy Danilov, said in an interview, Adriana, it could happen tomorrow, the day after that, or in a week.
Deborah Pata, thank you. Meanwhile, along the California coast, high bacteria levels are closing beaches in Los Angeles and as far south as San Diego. There's also another problem threatening pools and beaches, a nationwide lifeguard shortage. CBS's Elise Preston is poolside in Los Angeles. Good evening, Elise.
Good evening to you, Adriana. Millions of Americans are playing in the water at pools, beaches, and rivers. But a shortage of lifeguards could make this a dangerous holiday weekend.
Children make a splash in Los Angeles.
It's fun and relaxing.
In Washington, D.C., Mayor Muriel Bowser kicks off the city's summer pool season, and thousands flock to Florida beaches. Americans just want to be in the water.
They try to rush me out because they know that the faster we get here, the more they get to be in the pool.
But with increased demand comes danger. New York City is facing its worst lifeguard shortage on record, with roughly a third of what it needs this summer. The situation is so critical nationwide that about half of the country's 309,000 public pools will be forced to close or reduce hours, according to the American Lifeguard Association.
It is more than just a summer job. Lifeguards have a unique advantage of letting people know that there's danger and to stay out of that danger.
Wyatt Warneth, who patrols some of Florida's beaches, says your chance of drowning in front of a lifeguard is about 1 in 18 million. Still, with low salaries, a lack of qualified applicants, and rigorous testing, it's tough to find lifeguards.
Our agency here requires about 50 lifeguards. We only had 2 for tryout.
Now, the lifeguard shortage could get worse as summer months continue, so cities are offering incentives. In Phoenix, for example, lifeguards are getting $3,000 bonuses. Adriana?
Wow, Elise Preston, thank you so much. Straight ahead on the CBS Weekend News, this camera has a big reunion, 60 years after it captured history in Dallas. Also, Beyonce's latest dance partner takes Paris by storm.
What if my type 2 diabetes takes over?
What if all I do isn't enough? Or what if I can do diabetes differently?
Now you can with Once Weekly Mounjaro. Mounjaro helps your body regulate blood sugar. And Mounjaro can help decrease how much food you eat. 3 out of 4 people reached an A1C of less than 7%. Plus, people taking Mounjaro lost up to 25 pounds. Mounjaro is not for people with type 1 diabetes or children. Don't take Mounjaro if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Mounjaro and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, vision changes, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Taking Mounjaro with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Tell your doctor if you're nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can cause dehydration and may worsen kidney problems.
I can do diabetes differently with Mounjaro.
Ask your doctor about Once Weekly Mounjaro.
I've become a bit of an expert in sun care. An SP aficionado, if you will. My bottle of choice, Neutrogena Ultra Sheer. A lightweight blend protects 6 layers deep with a smooth, dry touch finish. This round's on me. Neutrogena Ultra Sheer.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Non-drowsy Claritin knocks out symptoms from over 200 allergens without knocking you out. Feel the clarity and make today the most wonderful time of the year. Live Claritin Clear.
Ancestry's helped me really understand my family's immigration experience and what life must have been like for them. And as I pass it on to my daughter, it's an important part of understanding who we are.
Things are looking up, I've got symptom relief. Control of my Crohn's means everything to me. Control is everything to me.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
This week marks 62 years since President John F. Kennedy rallied Congress and the nation to send a man to the moon, a goal the U.S. accomplished in 1969, which President Kennedy, of course, did not live to see. He was assassinated in Dallas in 1963. To commemorate 60 years since his death, a key artifact that captured history will be on display later this year in Dallas. CBS's Omar Villafranca has the story.
Got it in just a moment. Here is Oswald at the police station.
12 hours after President John F. Kennedy had been assassinated in Dallas, reporters from all over the world were crammed into police headquarters trying to interview the suspect, Lee Harvey Oswald.
I got jostled. I'm small, so I got pushed behind the door one time. I'm pummeled.
This is a situation now.
Bill Mercer was a reporter with CBS station KRLD. He just got a tip from a cop that Oswald had formerly been charged with murdering the president, something that Oswald didn't even know until Mercer broke the news to him on camera.
You have been.
Nobody said what?
Sir? You have been.
Nobody said what? Okay.
You have been charged with the murder of the president. Wow. And he looked at me. What? And I said, you have been charged with the murder of the president. So that was my greatest interview in television.
Almost 60 years later, camera number 3 from that interview finally belongs to Dallas's 6th floor museum. It chronicles the JFK assassination in what was the Texas School Book Depository.
Oh my gosh, there it is.
And earlier this year, 97-year-old Mercer was reunited with that piece of history.
This is particularly special because we have the footage, we have the artifact, and we have the man who was reporting that news.
Nicola Longford is the CEO of the 6th Floor Museum and says decades later, physical artifacts are still popping up from that moment in time.
We need to have physical items that animate people's imaginations and try to step back into a historic moment.
Camera 3, which is almost too heavy to lift, will go on display later this year to commemorate the 60 years since JFK's death. For Mercer, it's a piece of history that he'll never forget. I mean, what does it mean personally to you, that interview caught on this camera in the museum that talks about that moment?
Well, it's great because what if we hadn't had the camera? It would just be nothing, piece of audio maybe.
A wrinkle in time somewhere.
That's right.
Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Dallas.
An important artifact. Still ahead on the CBS Weekend News, Beyonce in Paris almost upstaged by a surprise guest.
Pepsi Complete works fast and lasts for powerful heartburn relief. With an antacid that starts working in seconds and an acid reducer that relieves occasional heartburn all day. Other brands can't do both. Pepsi Complete.
My asthma felt anything but normal. It was time for a new normal with uw-la-crosse.
uw-la-crosse is a once-monthly add-on treatment for severe eosinophilic asthma that can mean less oral steroids, not for sudden breathing problems. Allergic reactions can occur. Get help right away for swelling of face, mouth, tongue, or trouble breathing. Infections that can cause shingles have occurred. Don't stop steroids unless told by your doctor. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection. May cause headache, injection site reactions, back pain, and fatigue.
Ask your asthma specialist about a new normal with uw-la-crosse.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people like Sam who make
everyday products designed smarter.
Like a smart coffee grinder
that orders fresh beans for you.
Oh, genius. For more breakthroughs like that,
I need a breakthrough card.
Like ours, with 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more.
Plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases.
And with greater spending potential, Sam can keep making smart ideas
a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
Today, Vice President Kamala Harris made history at West Point. She became the first woman to give the commencement address in West Point's 221-year history. It also comes 75 years after the first women joined the military, a historic marker not lost on the vice president.
You stand on the broad shoulders of generations of Americans who have worn the uniform, including many barrier breakers and trailblazers.
Also today in Cincinnati, President Biden's budget director, Shalonda Young, who's one of the debt ceiling negotiators, gave the commencement speech at Xavier University.
If you haven't read, we're having a few budget problems in Washington, and the president gave me a 2-hour break, and it was to come be here with you.
Congratulations to all the graduates. One of Beyoncé's backup dancers took center stage in Paris last night. It was Beyoncé and Jay-Z's daughter, Blue Ivy. She made a surprise dancing appearance during her mom's show. The 11-year-old, wearing a matching silver outfit, also matched her mom step for step on the dance floor. Now that's a take your daughter to work day. Next on the CBS Weekend News, Florida's ghost cat on the comeback trail.
Meet Gold Bond Healing, a powerhouse lotion that moisturizes, heals, and smooths dry skin. With 7 moisturizers and 3 vitamins, you can pay more, but you can't get more. Gold Bond, champion your skin.
Lamita Feed is 101 years old. When COVID hit, we had some challenges. I heard about the payroll tax refund. It allowed us to keep the people that have been here taking care of us.
Learn more at getrefunds.com.
With wet AMD, sometimes I worry my world is getting smaller because of my sight. But now, I can open up my world with Vabysmo. Vabysmo is the first FDA-approved treatment for people with wet AMD that improves vision and delivers a chance for up to 4 months between treatments, which means doing more of what I love. Vabysmo is the only treatment designed to block 2 causes of wet AMD.
Vabysmo is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye, or are allergic to it or any of its ingredients. Treatments like Vabysmo can cause eye infection or retinal detachment. Vabysmo may cause a temporary increase in eye pressure after receiving the injection. Although uncommon, there is a potential risk of heart attack or stroke associated with blood clots.
Open up your world.
A chance for up to 4 months between treatments with Vabysmo. Ask your doctor.
Not flossing well? Then add the whoa of Listerine to your routine. New science shows it gets in between teeth to destroy 5 times more plaque above the gum line than floss for a cleaner, healthier mouth. Listerine, feel the whoa.
It's the most wonderful time of the day.
Non-drowsy Claritin D knocks out your worst allergy symptoms, including nasal congestion, without knocking you out. Feel the clarity and make today the most wonderful time of the year. Claritin D.
If you're out in nature this weekend, watch out for wild animals. We end tonight with a wildlife success story. Once nearly extinct, the Florida panther is slowly making a comeback. Here's CBS's Manuel Bajorquez.
A panther just walked out. Reclusive and elusive, the Florida panther is often called the ghost cat. To To see one, it's either a zoo or the rare and accidental encounter.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy shit.
I've only ever seen 2 Florida panthers in the wild with my own eyes.
They're that elusive.
They're completely elusive. There could be one looking at us somewhere in these cypress trees right now, but we'll never see it. This project has been the hardest thing I've ever attempted.
Wildlife photographer Carlton Ward has been hunting panthers digitally for 20 years. The new Nat Geo film intimately showcases the struggle for survival.
Panthers need a lot of land. A single male panther needs a home range of up to 200 square miles.
We met Ward at the edge of what's called the Florida Wildlife Corridor, a project he founded. It's a mosaic of still wild and undeveloped land stitched together and occasionally assisted with infrastructure.
The nature preserve and the cattle ranch and the citrus grove and the timber farm and the state forest, all together as this connected green space that panthers call home.
Human conflict drove panthers to the edge. First, livestock ranchers removed big cats by any means necessary. Next came urban sprawl and the often fatal encounters that came with it. The ghost cat almost vanished entirely. Conservationists have patiently brought panthers back from the edge. For decades, the imposing Caloosahatchee River prevented panthers from moving north of the Everglades.
And that had been the dividing line for 5 decades, where no female panthers had been seen north of that river since 1973. So we've had nothing break the beam since last Friday.
But then, a small miracle. Somehow, a female panther north of the river, nicknamed Babs.
She's amazing.
She's a pioneer. She swam the river.
For Ward, Babs became an obsession.
People connect with beauty. People connect with their hearts. And to see the eyes of these panthers and to see the beauty of the habitat and the place where they live.
Now, with their numbers creeping above 200, Florida panthers have a new and unlikely ally. Yes, cattle ranchers. At least some ranchers, like Elton Langford.
Protecting the panther also protects your way of life.
Yes, sir, it does.
He says the same development that threatens panthers might make ranchers an endangered species.
If you're losing habitat, you're losing everything. You know, if you think about it, we need to do our part as good stewards of the land.
And Babs, well, here she is with one of her many cubs. It's believed she's already delivered multiple litters north of that river.
I want people to know that this Florida still exists, that we have wilderness and wild places that are as beautiful and inspiring as any place in the world. We have animals like the Florida panther that need us for their survival.
Manuel Bojorquez, CBS News, Naples, Florida.
Just beautiful. That is the CBS Weekend News for this Saturday. Tomorrow on Sunday morning, Arnold Schwarzenegger is back. He said he would be back. Then stay tuned for Margaret Brennan and Face the Nation. For now, I'm Adriana Diaz in Chicago. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this weekend.
Well, good evening and thank you for watching News 8 Now this weekend. I'm Emily Haugen. While we are waiting on more information after a fire in Centerville late last night, we've got some video here. Multiple fire departments worked to battle flames at Toads Cove gas station in Centerville. News 8 saw at least 8 fire departments on scene, including Trempealeau, Centerville, Holman, and Ettrick fire departments. We'll get more info to you as soon as we have it. And the search for missing Winona mom Madeline Kingsbury continues. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall joins us live in studio with how volunteers are searching and how you can help.
Yeah, Emily, Kingsbury has been missing for almost 2 months now. She disappeared on March 31st after dropping her children off at daycare. Today, volunteers searched the Minnesota and Wisconsin shorelines looking in areas law enforcement haven't been able to cover. This includes Latch Park, which was impacted by flooding last month. As the search continues, her friend Michaela Repo wants people to know that anything helps.
A big thing to stress is no act is too small or too big. Right. Whether you're searching or posting on Facebook, sharing a post, like everything is very helpful right now.
And again, as we mentioned, she just appeared on March 31st after dropping her children off at daycare. Repo also told me they plan to continue hosting searches until law enforcement tells them to stop. Kingsbury's friends and family are also raising money for blue ribbons and light bulbs in honor of her birthday on Thursday. Emily.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Jeremy. Well, a benefit for Kingsbury is scheduled for June 10th at Watoka Tavern in Winona. Anyone can attend and donate. While Republican lawmakers and the White House appear to be on the brink of a deal on the debt ceiling as they work through the holiday weekend and under a looming deadline. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavides has the latest.
With 9 days to go until the government could default on its bills, both sides appear to move closer to a deal that would raise the nation's debt ceiling. Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy striking an optimistic tone Saturday.
I feel closer to an agreement now than I did a long time before because I see progress.
As he left Washington for the holiday weekend on Friday, President Biden also seemed to hint that a deal could soon be on the horizon.
With regard to the debt limit, things are looking good, very optimistic.
Sources tell CBS News a possible deal includes raising the nation's borrowing limit and capping some spending for 2 years, while keeping Social Security, Medicare, veteran services, and military off the table for reductions. There's also talk of shifting $10 billion of new funding meant to ease backlogs at the IRS and using it to pay for other programs, possibly including healthcare and transportation.
This is not easy in any shape or form, but that doesn't back us away from it. You want to make sure you get an agreement worthy of the American public.
Republicans have pushed White House negotiators on expanding federal work requirements on some of the people who receive federal assistance, including benefits to help buy food. With most lawmakers gone for the holiday weekend, they will have to be called back to vote for a deal. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Well, Congress is adjourned for the holiday weekend, but could be called back, as we said earlier, and a 2-year deal means they won't have to negotiate this again until after the next presidential election.
Good evening, I'm meteorologist Gary Canulti. You could not have picked a better start to a Memorial Day weekend. We have bright sunshine across our viewing area. Some wispy, thin cirrus clouds coming in from the southeast. Might turn us partly cloudy for a time tonight, but you can see no precipitation anywhere across Wisconsin, Minnesota, or Iowa. Low temperatures this morning were a little chilly. La-Crosse dropped to 45, but Eau Claire was down to 37, and mainly 30s to the east of La-Crosse. West of town, temperatures were more in the 40s, and you can see high temperatures so far today, generally around 80 degrees or above from La Crosse and Eau Claire westward, upper 70s for the rest of Wisconsin away from Lake Michigan, and look for a pretty nice evening. Temperatures will drop off to the middle 60s by 10 p.m. Look for an overnight low temperature of around 52 degrees by morning, but that will set up for a great rest of the Memorial Day weekend. I'll have more on that in just a few minutes.
Well, a massive sinkhole swallowed a car in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota on Friday. Fortunately, the driver was able to get out of the car just in time and was not injured. Officials say an underground water main break was to blame for this sinkhole. Water service was shut off to a number of area homes, and that intersection was closed. And officials estimated it could take up to 48 hours to fix that water main break. Oh, that sucks. The unofficial start of the summer travel season is here. And another note, with airlines hoping to avoid the chaos of last year and travelers scrounging for ways to save a few bucks on pricey airfares and hotel rooms. Some travelers say they'll settle for fewer trips than they hope to take, or they'll drive instead of fly. Others are finding different money-saving sacrifices. Well, AAA predicts that 37 million Americans will drive at least 50 miles from home this weekend, an increase of more than 2 million from Memorial Day last year, but that's still below pre-pandemic numbers in 2019. The Transportation Security Administration expects to screen 10 million travelers between Friday and Monday. That's a 14% increase over the holiday in 2022 and slightly more than 2019. And up in the Twin Cities, the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport is busy. WCCO's Jennifer Mayerly takes a look at how holiday travel is hitting the cities.
Some drivers took off for the long holiday weekend early, hitting the road on Thursday. Others got out of work ahead of schedule on Friday.
I'm going to Madison, Wisconsin. We're just going to go out for the lakes and stuff.
Abby Anderson is filling up before traveling to the cabin Saturday morning.
About an hour and a half away, so not too far. It's perfect and looks like it's going to be a great weekend.
and all my siblings and their kids will be there.
AAA says more people are hitting the road this holiday weekend, up from last year and close to reaching pre-pandemic levels. When it comes to air travel, more passengers are taking flights.
We're headed to Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, for a soccer tournament.
I'm going to see my granddaughter graduate out of high school.
Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport reports 40,000 passengers passed through the checkpoints on Thursday. Similar traffic is expected Friday, matching spring break levels, up about 10% from last year, and exceeding air travel over the Memorial Day weekend in 2019.
I feel like there's also this sense of like I missed out on so much time during the pandemic, and now I need to kind of make up for that a little bit.
Gabrielle and her dad are off to Philadelphia.
We come from a military family, so Memorial Day's, pretty special and all that entails. So, yeah, it's close to our hearts.
Jennifer Merrily, WCCO News.
Well, MSP is not the only busy airport this holiday weekend. The Transportation Security Administration hit its highest checkpoint volume of the year on Friday. And coming up on News 8, staying safe from the sun. We'll take a look at a revolutionary new tool made to spot melanoma early. That's coming up later. But first, we'll share the story of how a Chicago reporter helped save a young migrant's life. That's coming up after the break.
It's Home's Memorial Day sale with a large selection of in-stock furniture on sale up to 30% off. Plus, get no money down, no minimum purchase, 6-year special financing, and free shipping during the Memorial Day sale. Only at Home Furniture.
This is how legends are. 2024 Chevy Silverado HD with Duramax diesel. And the Chevy Silverado with powerful TurboMax engine. No matter what route you take, there's a Chevy truck to get you there. Find new roads. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 LT TurboMax pickups, or current Chevy owners get $5,250 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
When migraine strikes, you're faced with a choice. Ride it out with the trade-offs of treating, or push through the pain and symptoms. With uw-la-crosse, there's another option. One dose works fast to eliminate migraine pain. Treat it anytime, anywhere, without worrying where you are or if it's too late. Do not take with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors. Allergic reactions to uw-la-crosse can happen. Most common side effects were nausea and sleepiness. Migraine pain relief starts with you. Ask about uw-la-crosse. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Hello, my name's Boris Gump. Chocolate? Mama always said buying a car was like a box of chocolates. Never know what you're gonna get. Me and Jenny, we buy all our cars at Sleepy Hollow. They got new cars and used cars, a body shop, parts and everything. Like me and Nate, the Sleepy Hollow serviceman, we just like peas and carrots. I'm not a smart man, but if you need a car, you should be running to Sleepy Hollow.
During the Memorial Day sale at Home Sleep Express, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets. Plus, get a free $300 home shopping card with free delivery, setup, and a 120-night guarantee. The Tempur-Pedic Memorial Day sale at Home Sleep Express.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Well, a 2-year-old migrant girl was living with her family at a Chicago police station without her thyroid medication. She had small masses forming under her skin. While covering crowded conditions at that station in May, one reporter learned of her condition and brought her life-saving help.
While doing the story about the overcrowding here at the 12th District, I started talking with a family from Columbia, and I learned that the youngest member of that family was in desperate need of medication.
2 meses de que no toma medicamento.
Marjorie Catherine Ramon Martinez told me her 2-year-old granddaughter, Kaine, has been without her thyroid medication for the past 2 months since they left Columbia.
En el cuerpecito.
She told me inside her little body there are small masses that have been forming under Kaine's skin. Her arms have also become swollen. When I asked if they told anyone, she said no. I told the family to come inside the 12th District with me. I translated for the family, telling police about Kaine's condition. Police immediately called an ambulance. It arrived within minutes, taking the 2-year-old to Stroger Hospital.
Gracias a Dios, pues llegó usted, señora.
Marjorie thanked me and expressed her gratitude to the police for getting the help her granddaughter so desperately needed. Marjorie and her daughter
18-year-old Yatsiev Camila Velasquez Ramon, along with her toddler and the baby's father, trekked across a jungle in Panama for 9 days, finally traveling through 5 countries before getting to Texas, then coming to Chicago. ¿Quieres un futuro?
Para mi hija.
Para tu hija?
Sí.
Yatsiev told me she wants a better future for herself and her daughter.
The reporter says she's spoken with the family since this report and learned the 2-year-old was given an IV and received a 30-day supply of thyroid medication. It's a happy ending. Coming up on News 8, mark your calendars. It's a chance to love your mother. A couple river cleanup dates are coming up. We'll take a look at when you can help out. And meteorologist Gary Canulty will have a look at your Memorial Day weekend forecast. That's coming up next, right after the break.
During the Memorial Day event going on now at PM Sleep Center, you can save up to $300 on a Posturepedic Plus High Point Hybrid mattress. Your next mattress is at PM Sleep Center, giving La-Crosse a good night's sleep for over 35 years.
As a veteran of our country's armed services, you have already made the ultimate sacrifice. Why should you have to continue to do that? Through no fault of your own, you may be experiencing hardships, such as the inability to pay rent, utilities, or receive other life-sustaining services. And once again, you're called upon by your family to serve and protect. We want you to know we are here to support you. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. It's not easy to ask for a hand up, but we are clear in our mission. No Wisconsin veteran should ever have to face homelessness or lose heat, power, or water again. 833-WIS-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727.
This is Kathy. She's about to see her dentist. She's afraid. Not because of the drill, but because of the bill. A big bill. But Kathy doesn't need to be afraid, and neither do you, thanks to affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. It's easy to get this coverage. Don't believe me? Call or go online for all the details. You could even have this free information kit. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance. It helps pay for over 400 procedures. That's a lot. I'm talking cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures. Bottom line, you'll have help paying for routine care and expensive major work. But if you want deductibles, forget it. There aren't any. No annual maximum either. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. Stop fearing the big bill. Start saving at the dentist. Call now or go to sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
During the Memorial Day event going on now at PM Sleep Center, you can save up to $800 on select Stearns & Foster adjustable mattress sets. Your next mattress is at PM Sleep Center, giving La-Crosse a good night's sleep for over 35 years.
Get the day's news in your inbox. Email newsletters from News 8 Now. Sign up today. Go to news8000.com/newsletters to get started.
Well, some Orange County doctors are using new high-tech tools to spot melanoma early so patients can get treatment as soon as possible.
So like this lesion right here, this lesion right here.
Dr. Stephen Wong at Orange County's Hoag Hospital demonstrates a handheld digital dermoscope being used for cancer diagnoses at the new melanoma and skin cancer program in Irvine and Newport Beach.
The diagnostic accuracy to about 85%.
200,000 cases of melanoma are discovered in the United States each year.
If you caught the melanoma really early, all you need is simple surgery. Your survival is almost 100%. But the problem is, if you let the melanoma grow, it can spread to the lymph node, spread to your lung. Now, the survival outcome is much lower.
New technology like this scope are helping physicians better diagnose skin cancer. Dr. Wong says it allows him to see lesions that he can't see with the naked eye. The accuracy of this advanced tool increases what he sees by about 25%. Dr. Wong has quite a bit of advice to protect the skin. Most people aren't using nearly enough sunscreen. Dr. Wong says no tan is acceptable. It causes DNA damage. It's important that we rely on more than sunscreen to avoid cancer, and don't wait to see a doctor if you notice changes in your skin. This melanoma patient takes this to heart.
So I would just say definitely wearing UV style protection clothing. You can find it anywhere. And go in and have yourself looked at least once a year by a specialist.
Dr. Wong has just started using this whole body 3D imaging system, which is the first one on the West Coast. 92 cameras capture the entire skin surface to be used as a baseline to monitor changes.
You can map out every single lesion, you can measure the dimension, and you can build a histogram of all the lesions on that individuals.
The high-resolution photograph costs around $600. Insurance does not cover the scan at this time. In Irvine, Michelle Geely, KCAL News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Gary Canelti. You know, taking a look at our bottom line forecast, we're looking at some really nice weather for the next few days. High temperatures are going to be in the 80s through Tuesday, and then it turns hot. Look for high temperatures around 90 for both Wednesday and Thursday. There'll be a little bit of an increase in humidity, and that could lead to a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm as early as Wednesday afternoon. Maybe a little better chance for Thursday and Friday, but even then, probably only about a 30 to 40% chance of precipitation. For the rest of the Memorial Day weekend, look for a high temperature of 81 degrees with partly sunny skies for tomorrow, and then Memorial Day itself, look for a high of 83 again with partly sunny skies and low humidity. Now, the dry weather is good. Of course, we've had high river levels. Those have gone down, and the drought monitor shows Wisconsin in pretty good shape, but not far out to the west of us. You can see drought conditions continuing to expand across parts of Kansas and eastern portions of Nebraska. Extreme to exceptional drought conditions there. But high temperatures today warmed up very quickly. We're in the 30s and middle 40s this morning. Temperatures climbed up into the 80s, basically from La Crosse and Eau Claire westward, upper 70s across the rest of Wisconsin and the eastern portion of the Midwest. And those temperatures will probably rise by a degree or two for the next couple of days. Current temperatures are very close to the highs for the day, but take a look at the dew point temperatures. 30s, so the air is very dry. That means it cools off quickly at night. We'll look for low temperatures in the lower 50s by tomorrow morning. The dew point temperature is a little higher out to the west, and that's where most of the shower and thunderstorm activity has been. And that's where it'll stay because the jet stream is kind of taking all that precipitation northward into Canada. And right now we're high and dry, other than some cirrus clouds that are coming in off the storm system well to our south and east. That might bring just a few more clouds tonight and tomorrow, Memorial Day, but it should not make much of a difference, at least as far as the sensible weather. Take a look at the weather map across the Midwest. Everything is up to the north and to the west. That's where all the fronts are. That's where the precipitation is. And as we take a look at future track, you can see just those cirrus clouds coming in from the southeast overnight. Temperatures will drop down to the lower 50s by tomorrow morning. High temperatures around 80 in both La Crosse and Eau Claire. Little warmer across parts of eastern and southeastern Minnesota and northeastern Iowa. Temperatures there may reach the middle 80s. And then again, temperatures cool off quickly at night, but not quite as cool as the previous night, probably middle 50s as we head into Monday morning. And then for Memorial Day itself, look for high temperatures probably right around 83, 84 degrees. And farther out into the future, there will be a weather pattern change. The warmest weather will shift back to the west. The Climate Prediction Center 8 to 14-day temperature outlook calling for below normal temperatures with the highest probabilities to our east and to our south, but precipitation is expected to be below normal. That dry weather trend will continue at least into the first week of June. As we take a look at our 10-day forecast, you can see those temperatures ramping up to around 90 by Wednesday and Thursday. Again, a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm Wednesday afternoon and evening, a little better chance Thursday and Friday, and then the air dries out, temperatures start dropping off a little bit, but we'll be very comfortable into the start of the following week.
All right, that was Gary Canolti from our sister station in Madison helping us out. Thanks, Gary. Well, if you'd like to help clean up our waterways, there are 2 Mississippi River cleanup days coming up soon. So the first is on Friday, June 2nd. Volunteers can gather at the Tremplow boat landing. Registered volunteers will go to the landing they chose during registration to sign in, grab a shirt, a map, and trash bags. Volunteers will get lunch after cleanup is finished. And the La Crosse cleanup happens the next day on June 3rd. Check-in is also at 8, and after the cleanup, all volunteers are invited to Copeland Park for lunch. You can also register for this day online. This is the 30th year of the river cleanup, and the group has picked up nearly 750,000 pounds of debris and trash from the banks of the Mississippi. And coming up in sports, a big weekend for UW athletics. The track and field teams are at the Division III championships, while the baseball team is trying to secure their spot in the College World Series. Kate is in next with the highlights.
Come explore and plan your next home improvement project at the Board Store Home Improvement's historic 8-building showroom, 524 Copeland Avenue, La Crosse.
When Derek Van Orden wanted your vote, he signed the U.S. Term Limits Pledge. But now, Congressman Van Orden is breaking his U.S. Term Limits Pledge. Term Limits Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The GMC Sierra with hands-free driving. Yeah, it rocks. Step up to GMC with 0.9% APR and no monthly payments for 90 days on Sierra light-duty models.
Visit your best choice GMC dealer today.
So many hotels.
Trouble booking the family vacay? Come on. Comfort does free hot breakfast for the whole fam. They have waffles. And splendid pools. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Non-drowsy Claritin knocks out symptoms from over 200 allergens without knocking you out. Feel the clarity and make today the most wonderful time of the year. Live Claritin Clear.
To everyone who appreciates a handcrafted meal, are you ready for a taste of Wisconsin?
Butterburger's cooked fresh, just the way you like.
The way you love.
Definitely love.
And our thick and creamy frozen custard,
we make it for you all throughout the day.
All day.
All day, every day. Put it in the extra work and not cutting corners. Takes a little longer.
But it's how we've always done it at Culver's. Because making your meal with care shows how much we care.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Diapers and politicians must be changed often, and for the same reason. And already something stinks about Derek Van Orden. Now politician Van Orden is breaking his U.S. Term Limits Pledge. Term Limits Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports with Kate Overton.
Well, here we go. Day 2 of the Division III Baseball Super Regionals down at Copeland Park as UW-La-Crosse and UW-Stevens Point were battling for a spot in the College World Series. If the Eagles win the first game, they move on. But if the Pointers win, there will be a winner-take-all Game 3. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This first game was crazy. We'll pick things up in the 5th inning. Stevens Point already up 18-2, looking for more. Runner on third, and Bradley Comer gets one past the infield. One run comes across. Now make that 19-2. Stevens Point up big, but UWL wasn't going down without a fight. 6th inning, and Chris Vandenheuvel sends one deep to center field. Center fielder giving chase, but that's over the wall for a home run. Eagles now down 11. Same inning, Jordan Williams now at the dish, and Williams gets a chunk of this one. That's deep to left over the quick trip sign for another home run. It's now 19-13. Next inning, 2 men on for Ben Larange, and he's going to take this one out to left, and that's another 3-run home run. It's 19-16. Eagles now down by just 1, but with a man on, George Seaman is going to give UWL the lead, a 2-run shot. It's now 20-19. We go to the top of the 9th. Eagles trying to hold on, but it's the Viroqua native Camden Oliver. The freshman launches one to right, and that's gone for a 2-run shot. The Pointers add 5 in the 9th, and Stevens Point holds on in a thriller 24-20. I'll have highlights from Game 3 later on tonight.